so that you will have a place to sit down. That's one of the announcements that I've been told to make. I'm here representing North Berkeley Neighborhood Alliance. We've been working for several months, and actually we've been working for many years, many years with the city, and to get a contextual design, to get all the things we need, and we've been in this process. And I'm also here representing the Berkeley Tenants Union. And suddenly, after such a long time, we get thrown a curveball where the towers might end up being 18 stories high. And so it's just been a real grassroots turnout, people coming from all over, all districts, to support our first design and our original vision. So, and I'm also here representing Berkeley Tenants Union. We want to let the council know that we will not let our O&P monies, the monies that our tax dollars created, be given for for-profit market rate developers to continue the gross practice of commodification and financialization of the housing markets, and to continue plundering our communities, because housing is a human right, and we will start this language to decommodify housing, allowing it to stand for shelter, which is a basic human need, and once again bring our community together. The Berkeley Rent Board recently had an anti-eviction mapping project completed by the housing researchers that showed in black and white very quick and speedy gentrification of West Berkeley. And as the upscale market rate towers were developed along that district. And the people in our communities which were promised housing never got a piece of it. Instead, they were forced out and into the streets. So market rate housing is a giveaway, and we will control the dialogue now. We want affordable housing now. If the markets could deliver housing, then why are our community members living in the streets? Why have they been moved to Antioch? If markets could deliver housing, then why are 8 to 10% of all these market rate developments laying empty? That's a crime. We're here to say our tax dollars will not go to for-profit market rate developers. We have a few speakers here today, and Louise from South Berkeley District 3, which is a very famous retired teacher, everybody knows, is here to introduce a special speaker today.
Well, I'm going to use my teacher voice, but I think you can probably hear me. If you can't, just raise your hand and I'll do something different. But I'm very excited because I have the privilege of introducing to you somebody who I think most of you already know. I get the pleasure to introduce to you Mildred Howard. Now, a few things I want you to know about Mildred that you might not already know. Mildred had, I'm going to say had, but I want to say has, lived in Berkeley since she was 5 years old. No, 2 years old. She went to the Berkeley Public Schools, and she graduated from Berkeley High in 1963. Now, those were pretty good years for Mildred, because in her household, there was a lot of activity around the BART. As you may know, Mildred had a pretty important mother.
Yes. Yep.
Mable Howard. And what was she busy doing in the 60s? She was busy stopping BART in its tracks. The same way we need to do now. And how was she doing that? She filed a lawsuit. She said, you're not going to separate our community and put South Berkeley over here and the rest of y'all over here. Not going to happen. And she actually won that. Well, that lawsuit was there for 9 months. And BART finally said, okay, we will underground. We will underground it so that we are not dividing up the community. So that's where Mildred comes from.
Thank you very much.
I need to tell you, there's a whole other part of Mildred you need to know, and I suspect most of you already do know this. Mildred is an internationally famous artist, and she builds, among other things, houses. And if you go and Google her and go to the website, you will see an amazing array of houses that she has built. Because for her, housing is what's really important. Enough of me, more of Mildred.
So thank you all for letting me speak to you. I grew up in South Berkeley, between Fairview and Harmon Street, next to South Berkeley Congregational Church. And when my family moved there in 1947, it was a somewhat integrated community. But there were black businesses all up and down Adeline Street, like there were on Sacramento Street. And you know, all of you know about how Berkeley was redlined. So that was the only place that we could purchase a house. And then there was a white flight, and the neighborhood became all black. And even though it was a segregated community, there was some sense of hope because of my family and my parents. And to see this happening again is really disheartening. I lived in Berkeley up until 5 years ago on Harmon at 1820 Harmon Street, right behind the vault. And I was displaced because my rent at that time was $2,000 and my landlord was going up to $5,000 and or more. And I say that because I don't care how many degrees you got behind your name. I don't care how much you know, how many marches you've gone on. These things still happen. And I still pay taxes in Berkeley, so I feel I have a right to speak to this issue. And we just can't keep displacing marginalized people, people of color. We just can't, we have to stop it. I somehow thought that Berkeley was different, but it's no different. It's just like the rest of this country. But what is different are people like you who are speaking up for those who don't have a voice. And that's what I appreciate. I appreciate making the invisible visible.
Hold it closer, Mildred. Thank you.
Okay, I mean, I talk on mics all the time, but not like this.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have a lot more to say. I hope that you guys stick around. Thank you.
Hi. Oops, do I do this? I have to say?
Squeeze it, yeah.
Squeeze it? Okay, that's it. Yeah, hi, I'm Laura. I'm from North Berkeley Neighborhood Association. A lot of you have been getting my emails. Anyway, I just wanted to clarify what's going on. So the doors will open at 5:30, we've been told. If you are planning to stay for the city council meeting in person at 5:30, you should go in and reserve a seat. And we've been told there's no sign-up sheet, so be prepared to, when public comment comes, to stand in the line to speak. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, after this gathering, I urge you all to go home, get on Zoom or on your phone, and just hang in there, because it's going to be a long night. But you know, you don't have to, you can multitask, you can have your computer on and you can have your dinner and you can watch the Warriors game or read a book or whatever. But hang in there. We need every single one of you to comment tonight, okay? Either in person or at home. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to our... Raise your hand.
As soon as you sign up.
Yeah, as soon as you sign up, raise your hand on Zoom right away. And then you won't be speaking at 1 in the morning. Okay, Negene's going to introduce our next speaker.
Wait, what time do you raise your hand? When you get on Zoom, right away. Like, okay, 5:30. No, okay.
Anyway, guys,
explain.
curious thing to let you know that if you're going to come in, be sure to have your vaccination cards ready. It will make things a little bit smoother.
Okay, we've just been told you should have your Vax card ready when you go, if you're going to go in. So to clarify, when I say raise your hand on Zoom, that's just, it's a thing that you click on at the bottom. There should be a raise hand icon. Do that immediately, as soon as you enter the Zoom meeting. Okay, I'm not sure what's going to happen to the in-person meeting. You'll have to see how that goes. Okay, Negene's going to introduce our next speaker.
All right, can you hear me? All right, our next speaker is very well known to all of you. He's been working for the People's Park Historic District, and he's the author of Berkeley and the New Deal. Here to speak to us is Harvey Smith.
Hello, good afternoon. Thanks everybody for coming out today. So since the New Deal was mentioned, you know, the New Deal took place in the 30s, in the depths of the Depression, and it built a lot of housing. So how is it, I just want to ask, how is it that now, you know, we are the richest country in human history? We live here in the Bay Area, in one of the richest areas in the richest country in history. Why is there one person that's homeless? Even one. So we got to think about this. The fact that there are homeless people, the fact that there is not affordable housing is deliberate public policy. Deliberate. So we need to turn this whole thing around. If you look at the model over there, I mean, that's a mock-up, 18 stories. So why is this monstrosity a solution to the climate crisis? I'm involved over at People's Park, as well as being a resident of being just a couple of blocks from North Berkeley BART. So the University of California has the same idea. They want to put a high-rise in the middle of People's Park. Why do we have to trade parks for housing, particularly when the university has all kinds of property all over Berkeley? So I don't want to talk about that because we're here to talk about this monstrosity. But Leslie over there has some flyers if you're interested in People's Park. And I just want to read something that a recent statement by former Mayor Gus Newport. Do we all remember the mayor and the city council when they really worked for all of us here in Berkeley? So that was Gus Newport. Gus, in talking about People's Park, because People's Park, something momentous happened last week. It was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Gus commented on this. Yeah. Yay! A couple years of work, but it happened. What he said, Gus said, People's Park is very deserving of being on the National Register of Historic Places. The stability of cities and towns is formed from the history of planning and participation of citizens. People's Park very much reflects and proves this. So People's Park was created by people in the community. And what we have now is a process, and Gus knows because he did this after he left Berkeley, he went to Boston and he worked on housing there, affordable housing. And so what we're getting here at the City Council, at UC, is this top-down, arrogant approach that's telling us in the community what kind of housing there should be. Okay? So it's stuff that doesn't fit, and it's also not affordable. Negeene very clearly explained all that to us. So what we need is more affordable housing. We need all that great wealth that we have in the Bay Area to create affordable housing, and we need housing that fits the community. We're here because our feeling is this doesn't belong at all. There are places where you can build housing. This is not, this is pointed to as the solution for the climate crisis. The one solution, right? There's not one solution to the climate crisis, and it certainly isn't this. Okay, so please tonight speak up, but after tonight, continue putting pressure on this city council. I've lived in Berkeley for over 50 years, and it's just shocking what I see coming out of this present city council and out of the mayor's office. It's so much out of touch with the majority of our community. So keep the pressure up. Thank you.
All right, folks. We've got a very special surprise here today. The mayor of South Berkeley, technically speaking, has joined us here from Friends of Adeline, and she's ready to deliver her message to the people.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Richie Smith from the Friends of Adeline.
Yay!
And we're here to put up a fight.
Yeah!
We're not going to allow this to materialize, to happen. It's ludicrous. Friends of Adeline has been on this trail for 6 years. We started. And we haven't lost the fight, the zeal. I've been in this community for 71 years. And I saw it when it was in better conditions than it's in now. And at that time, the historical red and black line was down in the area. And it survived that, grew, created businesses, profitable business, mixed race businesses. And now we're coming in with all this, with these developers and money grabbers coming in, putting up all these buildings, and the first good earthquake comes, they all gonna be down on the sidewalk and putting them up too fast. And they're not doing good work. We're not gonna put up with that. I'm here for the fight. And we have to bond together, and you gotta make noise. You gotta make noise in your community, and make noise to our employees, because we are the employers. We are the employers. Say it loud and clear. We are the employers. We are the employers. Let them know that we are the employers. We are the employers. They are the employees, and they have to follow our instructions and do what we want done in our community. They're coming in with all of this and not doing good work and not considering what we want. I'm here for the fight, and we'll continue. This is just the beginning. I came along in the era with Mother Howard, and you know what she did. Know what she did. It's proof what she did, because otherwise we had all these contraptions on top of the ground in our neighborhoods, and BART is not taking care of it. They broke the water line down in my neighborhood, and that's been so many years I can't remember. And they cannot fix it. And our employees can't seem to make them fix it. But we're on a move. We're on a fight. And we're gonna put up a good one. So join in. Be very verbal. Be verbal. Make noise. I make noise down in South Berkeley. And things are beginning to happen. All right, have a seat.
Thank you, Mayor. And let's follow up with the mayor's instructions with a little bit of rally cry here, okay, folks? Are you ready? What do we want? People. Housing, not profits. Housing for people, not profit. Come on. Not profit. 1, 2, 3. Housing. decided to make actual models and display them for everyone to see. So we got the artists here today to represent what they did and tell us what's going on here. So if everyone can follow and come over here. We have JD here from District 1 and DH, who's going to speak.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming.
A little louder.
Myself and JD and Amy Baldwin decided to make a model.
Be quiet. Quiet back there.
Is that any better? Is that better?
Yeah.
Thank you. Myself, and I'm a DH mayor, and I live in South Berkeley, a block from the South Berkeley BART station, Ashby BART. Myself and JD, who's here, and Amy Baldwin, and a few of the neighbors decided that we needed a model for people to see what's being proposed for the North Berkeley BART station and the South Berkeley BART station. So what we did was, we went to Galvin Appliances and got a refrigeration carton. And what you're looking at is a refrigeration carton. It's 5 feet tall. And it's scaled for the height of the building that's being proposed for the North Berkeley BART station. And the houses that you're looking at down here, they're to scale also. They're about 3.5 inches tall. So imagine when you get up close what it's going to be like if one of these or two of these or more that they're proposing gets built at the North Berkeley BART station. I don't know if you've seen any pictures of what the hotels look like in Dubai, but they built hotels in the middle of a desert. Well, that was fine. In the middle of a desert, you want to build tall hotels, skyscrapers, doesn't bother anybody, but we don't have a desert here. We're surrounded by single-family homes. So, my remarks are not to the people who's in this audience, because I think most of you have sort of made up your minds and nothing I'm going to say is going to change it. But for the council, I want you to think about something like this, that if these buildings get built, they're going to be around for 50 or 75 years. You might vote on this and lose your place in the council, but what you vote on is going to be around for 50 years. We're interested in livability, we're interested in attractiveness. 50 years ago, when the city and the residents of the city voted to tax themselves to put BART underground, why did they do that? They did it because they wanted a livable city, they wanted a beautiful city, they wanted a city that was quiet. Well, your city council today is going to make a decision about what's going to be in our neighborhood for 50 or 75 years. And they need to ask themselves, do you want to be responsible for something like this in your neighborhood? We'll be happy to answer questions about the model. It's pretty self-explanatory, but you can catch myself or JD or Amy Baldwin and talk to you about what this is designed to show.
They'll never see a sun. These people will never see the sun anymore.
You're absolutely right. That's right. Think about the solar. People who have put solar on their homes, how much solar they're going to get if these get built. And there's many, many other environmental consequences of this that other people can talk to about it. I was approaching this from a livability and a beauty point of view. Thank you.
Thank you.
what a fantastic model. I mean, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? And we know we do not want that here. I don't know if it can be brought inside. So, as we get towards the doors opening, I just want to implore everyone, first of all, I want to thank everyone for being here today. And you guys have been amazing. I mean, you have sent thousands of emails to the city council. You have met with the city council members. Believe me, they have been gobsmacked by the response. There were 70 letters to BART 2 weeks ago, to the BART board. They were not expecting that. So give yourselves a pat on the back, but we're not done, folks, okay? You need to hang in tonight. You need to speak.
Is George Hall here?
Is George Hall here? Okay, George is the one who did that amazing graphic that's on the Neighbors Not Towers.
Oh my gosh. The Yimbys were not happy with that graphic. And
Yeah, well, that graphic
happy.
says it all. So anyway, I'm going to turn the mic. Do we have more speakers? We have a chant we're going to do, but I just want to say it's going to be a long night. Be prepared. Hang in. We are the majority. We are being heard. You guys are great, and we will persist. Okay, guys, I'm going to say housing. You guys say yes. Then I say towers. You guys say no. Okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Housing! Towers!
No!
Housing!
Yes!
Towers!
No!
Housing!
Yes!
Towers!
No!
Housing!
Yes!
Towers!
No!
All right, let this council know we won't stand for it. They can't give our tax dollars away to market rate developers, and we will fight them in court if they do. Thank you, Rashad. You've done a great job. She delivered more than 1,000 signatures.
We were doing it all with our neighbors.
Yeah, that's Negeene.
Oh, that's Negeene? Yes. Oh, we didn't recognize her.
Yes.
Was she covered up last time we saw her?